Ready.
Hi, my name is Chelsea Jones, and today I'm going to do a journal club presentation on a new drug in clinical trials called DMAU. DMAU is a prodrug for DMA. So in the United States, 45% of pregnancies are unintended and 42% of those unintended pregnancies end in abortion, resulting in substantial public expenditure. Male contraceptive methods presently available, namely condoms, vasectomy, and withdrawal, have high failure rates. DMAU has recently been considered as a possible male oral contraceptive because of its ability to reversibly suppress serum LH and testosterone in men. Like I said earlier, DMAU is a prodrug that is hydrolyzed into DMA. It is unique because of the relative binding affinity for the progesterone, which is 18% greater than that of the endogenous substrate and 400% that of the endogenous testosterone. Previous preclinical studies on oral DMAU reversibly suppressed gonadotropin, spermatogenesis, and fertility in rodents while maintaining androgen effects. Historically, hormonal male contraceptive methods in clinical trials have primarily used testosterone gels, injections, or implants. Previous studies of oral steroid delivery for the purpose of male contraceptives have required two separate agents in multiple daily doses. Thus, DMA as a single agent represents a significant step forward in the male hormonal contraceptive development. Why was this study conducted, or its rationale? DMAU has promising characteristics that make it a valid candidate for a once-daily oral treatment. DMA potently activates the androgen receptors. It is possible that despite marked suppression of endogenous testosterone in men, DMA would not have significant symptoms of hypogonadism, and adequate DMA concentrations were maintained throughout the treatment period. The title citations can be seen in our journal club handout, and the author's funding was primarily under the National Institute of Child Health and Human Development. This study was performed at the University of Washington and LA Biomed. Author qualifications for Arthur Tremaglia is his MBBS, Division of Metabolism, Endocrinology, and Nutrition at the University of Washington School of Medicine. The trial design was a double-blind, randomized, placebo-controlled study with 6 arms. For the primary outcomes, they were safety and tolerability parameters, including vitals, laboratory data, mood, and sexual function scores, and adverse events. The secondary outcomes were drug PK profiles and PD effects, serum LH, FSH, and sex hormones. For the methods of this trial, inclusion criteria were subjects of healthy men 80 to 50 years old, general good health, and normal reproductive function. Exclusion criteria were significant medicine use or chronic medical conditions. For the intervention experimental data, the study was designed to complete 20 subjects in each dose group. The investigators split the participants into 6 arms, including a 100, 200, and 400 milligram of DMAU in castor oil and 200 or 400 in powder formulation. Each arm has 5 placebo participants, and the placebos were grouped into 1 at the end. The subject's serum levels were monitored for 24 hours on day 1 and day 28 and had 2 physical checkups each week. For the outcome measurements, for primary, it was for safety and tolerability. The secondary were PK profiles of both DMAU and DMA. For statistical analysis, all analyses were performed using SAA, and the p-value of the study is less than 0.001, which is statistically significant. There was no power analysis determination conducted, and statistical tests used were Kruskal-Wallis analysis of variance, Mann-Whitney U-test, Wilcoxon signed ranked text comparing data from day 1 to day 28. Suppression of serum LH and FSH were also calculated as percentage of subjects receiving active drug, where both gonadotropins were suppressed less than 1.9 units per liter.
So in this trial, there were 202 research participants were screened. 100 were randomized and received study medication, but only 83 complete the study. The participants were distributed equally at the University of Washington and LA Biomed. So what do we find? The basement of a characteristic of the participants, there were no difference in participants across the 6 treatments group. The treatment and control group, they were similar at the beginning of the study, were following in age, weight, BMI, serum T, serum LH, serum FSH, serum estradiol, SHBG. So what do we find in this trial? There were 82 subjects complete the study and they were included in the analysis. There were no serious adverse events, no clinical significant change developed in safety laboratory parameters. A significant dose of fat was seen in increase of the weight, increase hematocrits, decrease the high density lipoprotein cholesterol, and decrease the corrected QT interval, and decrease in sexual desire. Serum 24 average concentration of a DMAU and DMI show dose-related increase. So the secondary endpoint, all 6 subjects in the pivotal form of a 400 group, 12 out of 13 subjects in the Castle 400 groups achieved marked suppression of LH and FSH, which is 1 unit per liter, and serum T is 50 nanogram per deciliter. Decrease libido or erectile dysfunction were concentrated among the 400 milligram groups. So the adverse events, most of the adverse events are those similar to female oral contraceptive. There were no serious adverse events being reported. Most common ones are headache. Others like decreased libido, erectile dysfunction, any decrease in HDL cholesterol levels, weight gain, and QT effects. The adverse effects were not higher in the active compared to the placebo, except with the decreased libido. So the author's conclusion, author thinks the daily oral administer of a DMAU for 28 days in healthy men is well tolerated. Dose is over 200 milligrams, will suppress serum T, LH, and FSH. Those are the properties consistent with a fat male contraceptive without significant change in sexual function or signs of a liver toxicity. Some of the unexpected results that occur, including weight gain, HDL cholesterol decrease in libido, and increase in occurrence with erectile dysfunction. The author presents this in an unbiased manner, citing the possible decrease of estrogen as being a cause of the decreased libido. He adequately presents the shortcoming of or limitation of a study and stated that the dose of medication must be fine-tuned so that decreased libido, low HDL cholesterol level, QT change will all have to be further studied. Something that remains unknown that sets a bias for the future research is that this clinical did not suppress sperm production to level consistent with an effective male contraceptive. To do this study, will have to be length of a spermatogenesis of 72 days. In my personal opinion, I think this is very interesting drug. It's a very interesting trial, and it's interesting to develop contraceptive pills for men. Till today, the oral contraceptive pills in the market, they are only available, they are only for women. It would be nice to see finally there is a men oral contraceptive is available in the market. So this is a very early phase of the clinical trial of a DMAU. The main primary endpoint is the safety and tolerability. This trial was statistically significant, but it did not meet the power because the sample is too small. So it might commit type 1 error. I think they do need to continue the next step of the trial to prove the safety and tolerability of this drug further. It is only 28 days. The length is too short. The 72 days required for the completion of a spermatogenesis in men, and that maximal suppression of the T production by this drug was not observed until day 7. The fact the drug decreased HDL cholesterol and increased the weight and hematocrits don't sound too good to me. I think they need to further do the trial to see what's impact on the patients. Thank you.